build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance. Hello everybody, welcome to Longbangers. I'm Matty.
Good morning, I'm Colin.
How's it going, Colin?
All right, mate. Aye, just still half waking up. This new early recording slot that I requested. So,
Aye, it's still getting used to it as well. Like you get up and having a quick breakfast and then.
Oh, I've not even had that.
Oh, you know,
No.
I actually had some fruit and fibre, and then followed up with a wee pan of chocolate chaser because I was putting one in for Jane. I thought I'll just have one as well.
That'll keep you regular, will it not?
Aye.
Fibre.
Well, that's the dream, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the dream. Well, this is episode 200, Colin. We had planned something special, but unfortunately, this bit missed the penalty and we missed a whole load of other chances. So, really, I was wanting to celebrate it by going 3 points behind Aberdeen in third, ahead of Hearts.
Aye.
But
well, it's doing again.
What can you say? I say we'll talk about the game. There's probably I know recently when we've been talking about the matches, we've kind of gone chance by chance or like the sort of the key chances in the game, but I thought we had loads of chances yesterday and probably not got enough time to go through chance by chance. I actually thought, Colin, that, and I don't know if the stats bear this out, but it felt like we created more yesterday than we did when we beat them 6-0. But rather than a game where everything we hit went in, it was like nothing we hit went in. I don't know. What did you feel about it?
It felt quite one-sided, really. When, like at the end, I thought about it after we missed the penalty, actually, because I kind of resigned myself at that point to no winning. And I thought, I don't think Marshall's had a save to make, or the defence have really had much defending to do. Like, I think that they kind of managed the game really well, and it was a real comfortable 0-0. Like I was so comfortable. Like they should have won. They should have won. That's all, really. And the disappointing thing is, I don't know if I'm jumping in too early for what you had on your agenda, but that was a massive chance to. They would have started really looking over their shoulders. Only a few weeks ago, they were like, fucking how many points ahead they were. They've scooshed it, they've pished it. Almost like you could Dundee United fans, I think, were a wee bit like that as well. And they found themselves 2 points clear at the bottom again. Aberdeen fans were gloating just before the split about how far ahead they were. And that was a chance yesterday to really make them shite themselves. But we've kind of just handed them third place, I think.
But I think that is third over now, isn't it? Like, I think
it's only fourth we can play for now.
I don't think there's there might be a sequence of results that follow. Like if Aberdeen lost everything, we won everything.
Well, I think we would have better goal difference. Well, we've got better goal difference at the moment, depending on what that sequence of results is. But if they lost 2 and we won 2, then we could jump them. Well, if they lost, what was 6 points behind with 3 to play? Is that right?
Aye. Yeah, 3 to play. So
if we tied with them, your goal difference would do them.
Aye, can you imagine? But I think it's gone now. I mean, being realistic, I don't think they're going to lose to. We've still got to play St Mirren, Celtic, and Hearts still to play.
Aye. Yeah,
and I think the way that Aberdeen have set up, they're quite difficult to beat.
It depends who they've got at home. Their home record's been better, obviously, recently. Their away record picked up a bit, but I wouldn't expect them to. Even Celtic now. I think Celtic's there for the taking for teams at the moment.
But you saw that yesterday. I mean, I think if actually, I didn't watch it. I was going to say I think if there'd been something to play for yesterday, Celtic probably would have turned up more. But I didn't actually see the game or paying attention to it. So
I've not even seen. I just know the result actually, and I know who scored 2 of the goals. I didn't even get to show the third because I missed the whole thing. About my daughter was playing almost at the exact same time yesterday, so I didn't see. I just saw the result. Not even watched the highlights yet. I'm not even that fucking bothered. Put Sports Sound on this morning for a bit. The podcast for yesterday, and the first one, of course, they started talking about the first fans they had on were Rangers Celtic fans. That's the game that had fuck all in it.
Aye, that's it. Nothing to play for it.
Every other game in the league. Motherwell St Johnstone really had nothing on it, but the other 4 games actually had something on them.
Aye. I think St Johnstone can still get relegated. They still needed to.
Aye, but
or they can still get a playoff.
They're the most unlikely, and Motherwell are clear, so. Motherwell's chasing that spot where you can go fucking ridiculous as this league. 7th place is finished with their points in 6th. That's what they're chasing.
Aye.
But it's just mental, the coverage up here. Mental.
I think yesterday it's one of these ones that you need a win if you've got any even a slim chance of third. You need to win, and when you don't win, you have that frustration. But I actually find it difficult to criticise the team for the performance yesterday, other than putting the ball in the net. Because from back to front, I thought we played terrifically. Considering the praise that Aberdeen have been getting, the gap that they've got in third to the rest of the teams. We played them off the park. Like, I just didn't. They didn't look like a team that were streets ahead of us at all. It was the other way around, I would have said.
Well, they're not, are they? Like, they've got 6 more points, really. But I mean, they've just went on they've went on a streak, and next season, like, they'll get third place. They'll be in the group stages. They'll be pushing bottom 6 next year, just because they'll have too many games. Robson will get found out. So. I think they'll get some money to the European stuff. But I think it'll be a one-off season. Need never really backs it up, do they?
Nah, they don't. So what do you think went wrong yesterday then? What do you think was behind us not putting them away?
Well, we never took our chances, did we? And a bit, you could say a wee bit unlucky hitting bars, crossbars and all that as well, but you could also argue, well, put on target then. And then you get a free shot for 12 yards. We moan we didn't get penalties. And then we get one and then we throw it away. And, that's because it wasn't a great penalty.
No, it was.
The boy saved it. And at first I thought he was maybe off his line when I saw the replay. But Raymond corrected me in the group, thought his 1 foot was still on the line. So fair enough if it was. I was just hoping, thinking, fuck them, that's just evening out over the season after Marshall's one.
After Marshall's one, yeah.
In November or whenever it was. But if you get a free shot, like, you're struggling to score, like, your finishing wasn't great, and then you get a free shot and you can't even put that away. It's disappointing. I just think we just let ourselves down. Like, again, like, just like with the Dundee United and Hinghai, they played well, but there's no point in playing well and no winning. So it was such a massive chance, and I'd been dubious about chasing them down for third, but that was it. That was the game, eh? That's where it was going to happen.
Aye,
didn't take a chance.
We needed to do it. Right, I tell you what, we'll go into the talking points, because I think we'll probably cover most of what's coming up. Because aside from missing chances, the other key incidents in the game were Campbell's tackle and the penalty and the penalty save. I think they'll come up in the talking points, so we'll cover them as we go. But you're right, by the way, Marshall barely had the save to me. I think Aberdeen had one shot in the first half, which was for like a corner routine where the boys skied it outside the box. I can't
came
remember
and punched the cross away at one point, but that's not safe. You know what I mean? But it was good because we've said or read, and I've probably said, it doesn't feel like he comes from any crosses, and that he did there, punched it out. But it wasn't like, I never felt like in danger at any point until we missed the penalty, and I thought, they've got to go and score in 90th minute.
It had all the feelings of one of those games, and I think they had a deflected shot that Marshall collected just right at the end, like the boy hit it. I can't remember who put the block in, but
it was an easy one for him, eh?
The deflection.
You're right though. Like, I bet if you look at the stats, there's probably like 5 shots on target. I've not looked at the stats. No. But if you were to look at them, you'd go, where did they all come from? Because sometimes the shots on target and that, you're like, we had more shots than that, but then they didn't count if they deflect, and there's mental reasons. Just having a quick look at the stats.
Yeah, right. You have a look at them, and I'll go through the first talking point, which is from MJN 1875. It's the usual from us. Have a great chance to do something and blow it. Year after year, it's the same shit. It's tiring. We better get rid of the shit and recruit well this summer. We need more goals from midfield, shots coming from outside the box, and I'd sell Nisbet. So we're going to talk about recruitment in extra time. So if you're not a subscriber,
and if you're not bored of hearing us talking about recruitment,
and you're not bored of it, you can subscribe. We do extra time, which is like a half-hour-ish episode that we put out every week for subscribers, where we focus on one topic. So this week we are, it's like a final review of the season's recruitment, because we kind of know now who the hits and misses were. I think when we've had that conversation before, it's been sort of in the immediate aftermath of a transfer
window. If they come good,
window.
they might come good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Whereas we kind of know now, don't we? Like, there's not going to be any surprises in the last 3 games where somebody's either going to look a player that wasn't a player, or vice versa. Go going really bad. So,
although a hat-trick against Rangers can turn a lot of fortunes away.
Well, this is true. As we've seen before. Aye.
Exactly.
I know. Right, so Stella,
can I just before you go in, 2 shots on target we had 5. Did feel like more than that though, eh?
I felt like a lot more than 5
and it felt like less than 2. But it was 5-2 on target.
How many off target did we have? Was it about
17?
17, fucking hell.
But that'll count once hitting the bar and the post and that, because they didn't count us on. Well, they shouldn't count us on target.
That's right.
I'm sure somebody on Sky Sports once said that it was on target, and I'm like, it can't be because it never hit the target. Like the target's a bit inside that, above the net on it. And 8 they had off target.
Aye.
Without getting boring about the stats. 9 corners, by the way, if you want to count.
9 corners.
Had a lot of fouls against us too, but then I picked a few up with the tackles, like McCurdy and Jago and Egan Riley maybe, all got booked quite rapid.
Aye, the referee went card happy at the end.
Well, they went card happy, but they were all probably yellow cards because they were all like they once when they're breaking away, and I want the fouls. Like I'm happy with them.
I was just about to say that, and actually, we'll probably come on to it. I thought the ref did all right yesterday. Believe it or not.
Did you? Aye.
We'll talk about it. Right, for this one, more goals from midfield. I would agree there, because other than Campbell, we've not really had a midfielder pitching in with goals at all.
At least with Campbell, though. I mean, last year we never even had that. So, aye, definitely. You need to. I think you need a few. Can you need one, or you need? I want one that gets double figures, and the other couple to chip in with 5. You know, and that would make such a difference to games like that. Instead of just pings one for 20 yards. So try to walk it in and that. But it might be the way your team's. I guess it could be the way your team's set up, because he's wanting it. What he's told us, and it appears to be, he's wanting it forward faster, not a long ball, but get it forward quickly. So the midfield's job is not to stop and have a wee pot shot; it's to get into Ewan and get into Nisbet, isn't it?
Yeah. So but there will be times where you're wanting your midfielder to arrive late in the box, like Campbell does.
Yeah.
Or when the ball gets cleared out. It'd be able to ping, like you say, pinging one in for distance. And selling Nisbet, which was the other point that MGN 1875 made, I think Nisbet will go anyway in the summer, don't you?
Aye. I mean, definitely. I would, if he was willing to sign, I'd sign him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he will be, and I think if we want to cash in, we've got to get rid of him because he's only got a year left. Like we're back to the situation where we purchased, aren't we? Yeah. Where we're just going, fuck, just give us some money now because we've left it. We've either left it too late, or they've deliberately left it too late, or it's a bit of both. You know, we've not approached it at the correct time, which hopefully we're having a director of football in place now going forward. If we've ever got anybody good again, we can make sure that they've always got anybody promising or worthy if it's got a decent deal, so that they're no, so that we sell them with 2 years to go and we get some decent cash for them.
Aye. Right, Dorlesa said been going on about decisions all season going against us and dropping points, but that was self-inflicted. I think that's it. I don't think there was any big decisions that went against us.
You could argue they went for us. I mean, you know, because the penalty, we've probably got talking points there about it, but it probably is a penalty, and that's probably what VAR's there for. But it's like you often wouldn't get that, and the Campbell tackle, we've seen red cards for that this season.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it a wee bit more. The point there about being self-inflicted is spot on. I mean, that game was in our hands, really, and it came down to our own ineptitude, really, in front of goal that stopped us winning. I mean, the defence did its job, like kept Aberdeen at bay. I'd say the midfield did its job in kind of helping create, but it all sort of fell apart up top. Elston Loon said, Doige, is he the missing link?
No, I don't think so. Is it a tongue-in-cheek thing?
I'll be honest, I assumed it was a Sarky one. But you never know. Could be
instead of Nisbet up front. Like, I'm not sure. Even what I've read of Kilmarnock, and like I listen to the Terrace most weeks on a Monday, and when they do their Kilmarnock review, if Doige has been playing and if Doige has done anything, and what I've seen myself, it's generally accidental, these goals.
Yep.
Like, and I'm not criticising the guy, but I'm just commenting that's what he done the no look finish and all that. Kind of like I think we've tweeted about it. It's they just get the ball wide and hit it in the middle and hope that it hits off him like that. Or the other guy who's also this clumsy looking. He's definitely not the missing link of this team. I mean, he had a great season when we finished third. I mean, he got the winner at Aberdeen in the same similar scenario here.
Yeah.
Although that was to guarantee third rather than chase third. But I think since that injury, it's just lost. He's lost even more of what he never had.
I get what you mean. I don't think. Although he's still got a year left, I think, on us, isn't he? Which will be interesting because he'll come back in the summer.
And I can't see many teams chasing him. Like, I don't think Kilmarnock will re-sign him.
I don't think so. I think he might go. He might find a team down south.
But he's got his girlfriend, mind. So he might just retire.
Or just pick up the wages for a season.
Aye, well, that's what happened. But that's the thing, though. We've got there, and that's what I'm saying about getting somebody signed up on a long deal. He probably signed a longer deal because he had a cracking season. Mind we were
happy about it as well.
Aye, him, Boyle, and Nisbet will got like 20 goals each or 50 odds between them, something like that. Which carried us to third because the midfield weren't chipping in that season either. And we probably, I can't remember what deal he signed, but we were like, get him signed up because he was knocking on the door of the Welsh squad and all of that. And we thought, be able to sell him. But now we're left with him a year, and that's the danger of signing somebody on a long term, isn't it? We missed out on Nisbet and Pochis, which were the ones that we wanted.
Yeah.
And we've ended up with Dodge, Fraser Murray, all these boys that we've ended up with long deals that we couldn't get rid of.
Okay, right. Jordan Lahibi said, why wasn't the penalty a retake? Keeper clearly had both feet off the line. So I've seen
see what he's saying.
Yeah, I've seen a still of it when the ball's being hit, and I think the keeper's got his trailing foot in line with the line. Like it's not on the line, but it's not.
And is that enough? Is that 1 foot? Is that what you need to have on it?
You only need 1 foot. So I think the referee got that right, and obviously they've checked it on VAR because we obviously at the ground just screaming for it. It looked like he'd come off his line. We're at the other end as well, right? But because just because of the momentum, I mean, you're looking just for anything if they don't let us do it again. Really.
See, if it was a retake, it would have to be Nisbet that takes it again. No, you can't change your taker.
I don't know the rule on that. I think that's right, but I'm sure I've seen it before with somebody else. Does it?
It does. See, I do have. That's why I asked the question because I had a sort of faint memory of it. But I thought there was maybe a rule had to be the same person.
Somebody could tweet us and tell us that.
Because if you pull a hammy or something when you're taking it as well, like but then that would be I don't know. Just make that up. I'm not sure what the rule is, but I didn't really care because it wouldn't have happened. Nisbet would have retaken it. I'm sure he wouldn't have handed it over. But who would you have wanted to take the penalty? Because I didn't feel Nisbet taking it. Now I was watching it seconds behind people at the game who were messaging me asking, "Is it a penalty?" And that I hadn't seen the incident yet. And then I got a fuck's sake message as he was running up to take it. So I kind of prepared myself. But I didn't feel confident in Nisbet taking it. Because I actually went, who'll take it in the house? And I'm thinking, be Nisbet, eh? But perception is, and I don't know, I've never looked at his numbers, he's missed a few. And I didn't feel confident because he missed one against Hearts.
He did, and he missed one against Rangers as well, I'm sure Josh said.
Did he? So I remember him missing a couple, at least, but so I didn't fancy it, but then I thought, who would have fancied taking it?
I don't.
Really?
I don't. When we had a penalty against fucking Rangers.
That seems a big claim, like.
Aye.
But if you, so I can't remember. I just remember him missing some, and I know everybody misses them. Boyle's missed them as well, but I still felt more confident when Boyle was taking them, even though I knew he had blasted that one over the bar at Livy and that.
Aye.
So I don't know how Campbell took the last couple. I think he was subbed at that point.
He was off. So you could have put Henderson on it. Maybe Henderson can strike a ball no bad, but I don't know if he's got the cojones for it.
I felt confident with him either. You know,
McCurdy probably would have wanted
to
take it.
Still on, obviously.
I don't think John's got the cleanest of strikes. Do you know, like
Big Marshall could have come out and just bashed it in the middle.
Just lumped it. Hanlon's no bad on the pens. He's missed before, but he's no bad on them.
Never felt comfy with a centre half taking them, though, do you?
I don't know.
Even in the penalty shootout.
Again, they just. I run up and scalp it, don't they? Which is sometimes what you need in a penalty. I don't know, like Newell takes a lot of corners and that, but
I know, but he's
he
not
doesn't
got a
score
great shot.
goals. No.
That's
It's difficult.
what he's struggling is. So you can see why Nisbet took it. I think Nisbet's had been criticised. I read it I think I read it on, quickly glanced at the message boards or Twitter after the game. And it was like, why was Nisbet taking it? And I thought, I know I did think the same, but then I thought, but who else? Your main fucking striker, your top scorer. Why would he not be?
Aye. Just on that point, I know Kenan about the retake situation, if somebody else can do it. He was arguing, I can't remember how this happened, right? On Twitter this week. I can't know if you can drink any old shite on Twitter because nobody cares, right? So,
and do
frequently, right? We were talking about Rangers. I tweeted about Rangers not giving away a penalty. And Cater's Corner, the St Mirren account, had tweeted a video of a penalty that they should have got at Ibrox, right? And this boy, presumably Rangers fans come back.
St Mirren should have got.
Aye. And it's one of these ones where the attackers got to the ball or got in front of the defender before they've played it. Defenders kicked the attacker's foot, right, instead of the ball, right? Seen them give in, like the one we gave away. Boyle did it against Aberdeen, wasn't it? I'm sure. Stokes gave away one like that possibly against Aberdeen as well.
We've had something like that as well.
Aye, we have.
But when you get them folk moan about it.
Aye, well, Chabraya gave away one at Kelly. Like that, with he's going to play the ball and the boys just got in front of him. Anyway, this boy's like that. That's the rules. That was a free kick to Rangers. Which was the decision the referee gave. That's no the rule. There isn't a rule that covers that. It's the rules. He says, "Show me one when it's been given." So showed him one. He was like, "Oh, no, that's different."
Of course,
is it right? So he's like, "I ken the rules." I was like, "Good. What's the rule then? Go on, just put an argument to bed." And he's like, "No, I ken the rule. You didn't." I just went, "I'm a qualified ref." That's it. I just put that. Fuck you, I'm a qualified. I'm not a qualified ref. I'm just like, fuck off. If you're going to be a dick about this, so man.
You're going to make it up. I'll make it up.
Aye. And then I just ended up blocking the cunt. So that was the end of that one. Nonsense. I was like, why am I wasting? Normally, I have like a rule not to get involved in shit like that on Twitter. Like normally, that's an early block.
Blocked earlier.
Aye. And I'm like, why am I biting here? So went on the block list. But anyway, in summary, I think the decision not to award the retake was the correct one because keeper was still on his. He has one foot on the line.
As I said, my initial reaction was he's off his line, but I think it was more in hope than expectation. And then I've been corrected since, but I've never watched it back again after the one week I saw. So.
Well, I just saw the still, the still from it where somebody freeze framed as the ball, and the ball's actually travelled a little bit, and the foot's still at the line. So,
all right, fair enough then. Yeah.
You would say fair dues. And the decision for the penalty is probably the right one because the guy's dived in with his arm like that. Again,
I'm sure has Mikey Stewart been on Sports Scene yet?
He was on the radio, but I don't think he was on Sports Scene.
Because that's one of the ones he would normally say, isn't he? Because he's supposed to put his arm. But the first time I saw it, I thought he's fucking diving out with his arms up. And then second time I saw it, I thought, did it hit his elbow? They got to give it the t-shirt line. Then the third time I thought, no, it's glanced his forearm. And it's glanced his forearm, but it was enough to take it onto the post or further over the post. It might have been at the inside of the post rather than the centre of the post. Sort of thing. So it's a penalty because it's diverted the direction of the ball, but it's one of them you go, fuck me, man. It's
if it'd been against us, I'd have been like, fuck. Would have been annoyed because I think he's dived in for the block, and if Mikey Stewart had said it, I'll argue a point that somebody might say in a hypothetical situation. But where is it? Like you can't make that movement without your arms being somewhere.
That's right.
And there's no distance between the two players, really.
And his arms aren't wide. His arms are kind of, but they're up. So then, but would you put them behind your back? And then when you put them behind your back, Roy Keane and that go, what's he fucking doing? His arms are behind his back. Do your job, man.
That's his job. Should he have been sent off, though, if you're given the penalty?
I don't know what that is. It know if it's deliberate, though?
Well, that's how you only get handball if it's deliberate. You only get it.
Do you though?
Aye.
But that's not what they do anymore, though.
No. But so the way that they interpret it is things like where's his arms? Like is his arms high? like these kind of things are what to take into consideration, because you could, like, if you just went, it's only whether it's deliberate. Every handball boy would go, didn't mean it.
No, no, but
you know what I mean? Like,
no, no, but
and how many handballs do you see where they've actually kind of gone fucking punching it away?
The rule used to say deliberate handball, didn't it? And I don't know if it does it. It still does, because it's not deliberate every time now. Then
I'm a qualified ref.
I know, but not every handball is deliberate, but you do get them.
You do, but it's how they interpret it. So it's like
That's a nonsense. That's a nonsense. You need to change that rule.
I didn't make it up, right? But that's the things that they take into consideration. Are his arms high? Are they out from his body? Is it an unnatural
and that makes
position?
It deliberate.
And that's where they say it becomes a deliberate handball.
Well, I don't think it was deliberate. I don't think his arms were high. It is a penalty because it hits his hand though, or his arm though.
Because it's prevented
his forearm, not his fucking t-shirt arm. Aye. Well, he possibly prevented a goal because we don't know, like, if it was going in or not. But I would have thought that would be a double. Do you get the double jeopardy still? Like red card and handball?
You do for the handball. You do, because
handball one. Because if you're standing on the goal line like Suarez that time in the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly that. So the reason the handball one does, and it goes back to the deliberate bit, is the double jeopardy. You get the yellow card if you made a genuine attempt to play the ball and you fouled the player.
He did make a genuine attempt to play the ball, and it hit his arm.
Aye, but that's deliberate handball.
That's the madness of the rules, eh?
Aye, it can't be both.
Football's meant to be a simple game.
Aye.
Well, we've just went round the circles here and clarified it's no fucking simple. Like, that's no simple. That's what they say, eh? Football's a simple game.
Aye.
For simple people.
Made
complicated. Simple people. Aye, it's just, isn't it? Because that isn't deliberate, but as a handball, it might have stopped a goal. Like, you can't say, I'd be fucking raging if a Hibs player got sent off.
I would, but also I would be pointing
to would, and then he start saying, you would say that, I understand that's what the rule says. No way would you do that, right?
Listen, I've come down on the side of referees several times this season. And I've said I understand that decision. I can understand why that decision would be made. Same with that penalty. Like, if that hadn't been given as a handball, because it's like close into him and everything, you'd be like, all right. Then as we're shouting for it at the time. Do you know, even McCurdy didn't shout for it.
No.
And they went and they checked it. But if it's a handball, for me, it stopped a goal. I think the ball's going in. I think McCurdy's scoring if it doesn't deflect off the defender.
I think there's a guarantee on that though. It's not like it was centre of the goal, so like somebody's just punched it away.
No, I mean, he just pinged it in your corner, in your post.
But it might hit the inside of the post. There's enough doubt there to say it might not.
So is that why you would say it's no preventing a goal?
It glanced the guy. Like, it didn't deviate the ball massively. It deviated a bit, and we're getting into fucking fight. It shouldn't have been as hard.
No.
The thing is, like, we're arguing about it. Who gives a fuck? We missed it. Like, we actually get a VAR decision going our way. We moaned enough that we get one that's maybe a 60-40 or 70-30 towards, like, that you should get, but sometimes you might not get it. And then we go and fuck it up. That's more my problem than fucking red card. Should it be red card? It wouldn't have made a difference if the boy got sent off.
Nah, and it probably wouldn't have, because there was only, it came up about 5 minutes left or something like that.
Maybe 10.
At that point.
It was about 80 odds, 82 minutes, maybe something like that.
All right.
Handed on a fucking plate, yeah.
It was handed on a plate,
but
really.
Guys, you've only got to score yourself. Take that free shot for 12 yards.
Aye. It's a sympathy penalty. Right. Cammy Fife asked, is Nisbet as good as we think he is? Personally, I can't wait for the summer so we can sell him. I just don't have much confidence in him that he'll score every weekend, and certainly not confident when he steps up for a penalty.
That's a bit harsh, I think. Like, I mean, he's probably our top scorer this season. I've not checked. I don't know if Campbell's jumped him or not, but he's our top scorer despite not playing he only started at Christmas.
And he turned our season around, really, when he came back into the team.
Yeah. It's very harsh.
Actually, he had a good game. I thought he had a good game yesterday.
He missed that chance last week as well, but and I moaned about him missing that chance because I thought it was an absolute sitter for somebody of his capability. But if you look at the whole build-up of the move, he started it on his own half and then got in the end of it and fucked it. But still, like, the actual football he's playing is good, but it is a bit streaky. Like, he's been streaky. He's never, the whole time he's been here, he's went through the runs where he scores almost every week. and then doesn't score for weeks. I think. I mean, I've no checked, but it feels like that.
Aye.
So I think it's a bit harsh to blame him for it. There is other players in the team that could score as well and didn't. And he missed a free shot for 12 yards, which is disappointing, like really disappointing. But I don't think you can blame him and start fucking. He's for sale anyway. Like, let's not make it out like it's your choice.
Aye, I mean that's fair. Paul McQueenie asked, why have we failed to capitalise on nearly every opportunity that has arisen over the course of the season? Is it the mentality of the manager, players, or just the players not good enough? I think that's $1 million question, that one, isn't it, really? Because there's been... You look at the...
Been like that for Hibs for years. So I don't think it's just the manager. It's just, I've said it before, we've done an extra time on it. It's like, it's the whole club thing. The fans, we accept it as well. We go, all right, that's just Hibs, eh? We'll blow at them on. That's what we do.
Aye.
Oh, the results are going our way. We'll fuck it up. We talk about it. We do it. We see it in group chats. It happens. And we seem to be cool with it.
So how do you become uncool with it? What's the alternative?
I don't know. That's why we went into circles. I don't know, and I'm not blaming the fans for it. But we've been beaten down into accepting it.
Because, like, I think the fans yesterday were fantastic, right? I mean, the way end was singing pretty much fucking. It was full, right? Hardly a seat free. So we're in big numbers, in good voice, back the team throughout, right to the end. I think that, like, the fans part in that yesterday, the fans tick. Yeah. They did their job. On the most part, the players did their job. It's that wee bit about hitting the ball.
Find margins.
Find margins is a good way to put it, because, like, I've no criticism of Lee Johnson for yesterday. I didn't think he could have set the team up any better than he did. I don't think the team could have played much better than it did. We just missed the chances to win the game, which would have taken us it. But there are other examples this season. I mean, just recently before the split, the Motherwell at home, Dundee United away. These were games, if we won them...
But we're third now.
Aye. And that's where the frustration... So yesterday was frustrating because we had the opportunity to do it. But the team turned up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In those games, the team never turned up. And I think that there's definitely a mentality thing there. Like, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, that Dundee... Because they knew it was a big game yesterday. So they turned up. They knew it was a big game against Hearts. They turned up. But you know what? We were demanding as a fan base that we turned up in the big games. It wasn't good enough to win the other games. So maybe that has translated into we'll turn up for the big games, or there's more focus on it and mentality wise. I don't know.
I sometimes wonder if it's because we're no like. So we're a big team. So we're a big game for other teams, right? So if you're St Mirren, Livingston, and no disrespect to these teams because it sounds like a wanky thing to say, right? And I'm just thinking this through as the thoughts are forming in my head, Colin, right? So you'll probably be able to kind of poke holes in it very quickly. Right, Livingston, Motherwell, St Mirren, Ross County, Dundee United, Kilmarnock, probably to an extent, and right, Aberdeen and Hearts will be in the mix as well. So Aberdeen and Hearts know they have to play well to beat us, right? But they're already quite good teams. So when they play well, when they play us, if we don't play well, there's a good chance we'll get hiding because they're good teams, and you can't really afford to be off it against them, as we've seen, right? Because when we have been off it, we have taken serians of them. I think when you play some of the weird teams, I think there's potentially the mentality that you go, we can probably afford to not be at our best here, but St Mirren go, we're going to have to be good today because they'll turn us over if we're not. And it's that disparity between there's not a big enough gap in ability. Like Celtic can turn up, go through the motions, and hammer these teams still, hammer us still. They didn't have to be fantastic to do it. They can get a 2-0 win, right? Fucking that's it, job done. Fuck off, home again. Hibs can't do that. So if we turn up and we're not quite at it, and these teams know they have to be at it, they know they need to fight, they'll try to kick us and make life difficult for us. And it's all perfectly acceptable, no problem with any of that. But I think in those games we think we'll probably win. And you get caught out, you get found out in those games all the time. And I think it comes down to that. I don't think yesterday was an attitude thing. Yesterday we did everything other than put the ball in the net. and we were kind of hitting the bar and the post, and the keeper saving a penalty. And because even if you're criticising Nisbet for the penalty, because it was shite, he's still on target. Keepers had to save it.
That'll be one of the 5 on target.
Aye, when you look at like Shanklin's penalty for Hearts yesterday, puts it down the middle. The keeper's dived it away. Nisbet put his down the middle. Keeper saved it.
Right. If you go down the middle, you need to go high the way. So
you do.
The keeper's feet can't be dangling.
Aye. So it's that. I think that's where the attitude thing comes in, and the only way you get past that is demanding that high standard every game, and sort of you have to turn the wee games into big games. Celtic can do that because the wee games and have to win them to win the league, because they've got somebody on their tail that'll go, well, if you fucking drop points this week, we'll pick the points up, and then you'll not win the league. So although they can maybe do it in second gear, they still can.
Aye, but so we should. But our league is early to be won as third place.
Aye.
We forget about they two, and so we've always got somebody on our tail, but we can't have that mentality.
But that goes back to what you were saying, and I think it is that like where we accept it, and you go, fuck, we've had a great. Well, let's just win the derby.
It's all right. They got beat as well. I know it's mental. Like, and there's nothing we can do about it, really. But I think by accepting it, I think it doesn't help. But I don't know how it. You know, I'm feeling contradictions on this one, and I go into circles on it because it's the club, it's the whole club. It's not, and we blame the manager this time, like, or we're suggesting is it the manager, is it the players? It's been the manager and the players for fucking years, decades.
Aye, different managers, so different players.
Like, how many managers did Graham Spears run through? You know what I mean? And that. So the Oirem have had a culture issue because they've all won big games and then lost wee games or the other way around.
Aye,
and it's and we just go, fucking typical Hibs, man, because of years of that. Aye, Celtic Rangers fans wouldn't take that, but then I know they've got more money and they've got higher expectations, but I think our expectations should be a bit higher. Like, we need some kind of drastic cultural change. I'm not sure how to go about it. Like I don't know how you would go about it. Like the City Group coming in or something like that. Like,
I think all it really takes is, see if you take Hearts, when the Hibs, Hearts and Rangers were in the Championship, what Hearts did that season was they blew teams away early doors, right, and they got some big wins early doors in the season, and teams thought that they were good. They will not beat them. I think that's how that season panned out. Is that folk went in, not us, because we did beat them, and probably no Rangers. But the other teams kind of took 10 off the crowd and beef that season. Like, fucking taking 10 off the team's mental. Hibs under that, we huffed and puffed. And we gave teams, like, we would dominate games, we would play good football, and then we'd lose a sucker punch at the end.
Even the year we won the Championship,
we
had, like, fucking loads of draws, and we only won about 2 games to go.
Aye. Teams can't, if they hung in the game long enough, they'd get a chance and put it away. But I think it was the mentality of the other teams as much as our mentality. But I think we understood that we could lose the game quickly, like that, and that feeds into the nerves. All the Hearts did that season was they had a good start. A good start to the season, and that set them up. They beat Rangers, they beat us, and then they were like, right, we're the team to beat now. And then they blew a couple of teams out the water, and everybody was like, oh, fuck, if you lose an early goal with them, that's it, game's done. And we almost need to have a season like that, where we go, first 5 games, get 5 wins on the board, a big one in there, have everybody thinking, oh, by the way, fucking Hibs mean business this season. And probably, if you can focus on getting an early goal in games after that, you have going to have a great season and win these shitty wee games. But that's easier said than done, isn't it?
Aye. Without rehashing that episode we're done, I can't remember if I said this, but when we did beat all the teams in the bottom half and we finished third, it wasn't good enough. So I'm then contradicting myself by saying our standards and that, but it's almost like we want the celebrity fan, but we didn't want, you know, like, we want all that. We want, oh, look, we're on the telly and we beat Hearts. Rather than, we want all that fame, rather than the day job, which is beat St Mirren, beat Motherwell, beat fucking Falkirk, whoever's in the league in that the league.
Yeah,
we're like, fuck all that. We want to beat Hearts and Rangers and Celtic because they're on the telly, and that's like gets us. We can then put Sunshine and Lethal on YouTube and that.
Aye, but those are good games to win. Like, as a fan,
absolutely. Like, but if you're only winning the games and you're not winning the other ones, it doesn't matter. Fuck.
No, that's it.
But that's the ones we care about as a fan base.
We need both.
That's all look up after seat. Queenslandshire and Leith. Fucking finish fifth or sixth.
Aye, we need both. That's the problem. You need both of them because you do need. I think it is disingenuous to say that the big games aren't important. Like if you're only, and I get like you finished third and that was good, but it's a different season when you win a derby or a couple of derbies. If you get a result against,
aye, but if you finish fifth and you win a derby, so what?
Aye, yeah, fair enough. That's what I'm saying. You need both. Right, Martin Wilson said fine margins for McCurdy would be a hero status tonight if I hadn't brushed Coulson's elbow. Aye, I think that's the unfortunate thing. So McCurdy got a bit of a mixed reception when he came on. I know we spoke about him last week, and I'm not going to over egg the pudding with it. I quite like there was a couple of young laddies beside us, and a young guy behind us, not looking young, like teenagers. The boy behind us booed McCurdy on. And the wee laddie next to us turned out to be laddie. Teenager kids are probably 20s, whatever. Right?
Compared to you, could be your lad, it could be your son.
Aye, could be probably about Josh's age. Turned out the boy says, "Fuck you, then." He's a Hibs player. Said boom at the end if you want it, but he's coming on and support him like that. And the boy goes, "Aye, but he's fucking moaning about Instagram." And the boy's like, "Doesn't give a fuck." Like he's coming on supporting Hibs. And I was like, "Good for you, pal."
Aye, good.
Good for you. And it would have been like if it had gone in, it would have been. It's like one of these ones that's written for somebody. Like McCurdy's almost his first touch of the ball. He's going to ping it in the top corner, and unfortunately,
he struck it quite well.
Oh, he did hit it well. But that's probably the story of his season. I think he maybe had another shot that sort of flashed across the goals, maybe, or
they not hit the bar, but was he offside that time anyway? I can't remember.
Maybe
a couple of shots.
Maybe. And you think it's like that fine margins against the cliche or whatever.
Was it Jack Ross? I think it was. Beat Jack Ross over the head with it, didn't we?
But he was almost there, and it would have been that. Fuck it, you've scored. He can come up, redeem himself with the fans. Everybody fucking loves him. I was going to say again, but starts to love him.
Fall in love with him. We've got to start falling in love with him.
Falling in love with him. Aye, but I feel bad for him that it never happened because it would have been good after the week that he'd had. Right, Armac said, "Why is Nisbet still on pens?" I think we probably covered that. There's no really an alternative or a good alternative that was available. I don't know if he'll be on penalties next though.
No, he'll not be. But I mean, that's it. It's just slim pickings, I think. Like, it would have to be Johan, wouldn't it? Really, you'd have to give it to Johan.
I think he might. Like Johan had a couple of good shots on goal yesterday. Like he hit the bar. Forced, he did hit the bar, I think. Hit the post, forced the keeper into some good saves and that. Maybe he'd be fine for the penalty spot. Right, Lex Loafer said, "Great performance today. Best I've seen up in Sheepland. Totally deserved 3 points, but one will have to do. Getting Nisbet to fuck though, sick of all his falling over." So Nisbet did hit the ground a lot on Saturday. I thought he was... I think some of it was he was trying to be clever. Scales had been booked early doors. I think Scales picked up a yellow card in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
And like if I'm this, but I that's what he sent off if I just fucking have a good moan at the referee, let him film me a couple of times. But there were a few times I think he probably could have been a bit stronger, could have stayed up on his feet and no looked for the foul. But it's one of these ones when you get a foul, you're happy for it.
I'm wondering what Denny for doing, like to get fouls. I don't know how obvious it was, to be honest, because I know I wasn't at the game. Sometimes at the game you see it a bit clearer than you do on the telly, so I don't know. I can't really comment, but I'm one. I was even saying it yesterday at my daughter's game. The goalie went round the striker, and I'm thinking the striker went round the goalie, and I'm thinking, just for doing, shoot a penalty. It was 0-0, late in the first half, and I'm like, just for doing. They need to start learning this. This time wrong.
Teach them cheating. Terrible. I don't condone it.
No.
21-5-16 says Charlie, didn't feel confident with Nisbet taking the penalty. Absolutely battered the mutton molesters.
He was the person that texted me "fuck's sake"
was he?
While before I'd seen it. Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered this bit on the penalty. The mutton molesters thing. There was. I kind of sang at Easter Road when we beat them 6-0, but it's really, really catchy. Kind of Sheep shagging bastards. It's a good song. Aye. I mean, it's not the most clever song or anything like that, but it's fucking catchy like it fair caught on.
See the TV coverage, sorry, I should say in the first half, that it was all out of sync, or the sound, you've probably seen it in the group chat, and I thought it was just me, but then I realised that in the group chat it wasn't. And you're going, oh, fuck, has somebody scored? Because you could hear a cheer.
Aye.
Or it was all totally out of sync, and you could never quite work out if it was catching up. Turned out it was the TV audio for the St Mirren. I don't care how that happened.
Brilliant. I was going to say something there, I totally lost. Right, Stuart said, was that our first 90-minute performance? If we'd won 4-0, it wouldn't have been a travesty.
That's a good point, actually, the 90-minute performance. We've been talking about that, I can't remember. There's possibly been other times where we've done 60 and 70 minutes in that this season. Not very often, but that was probably they dominated the game. They did.
Aye.
5 shots on target feels like, but then you've hit the bar post as well. So hit the post in the first half as well.
Aye. Nisbet hit the post.
Times.
Yeah. I know what I was going to say. It was about the Aberdeen fans. They had their Cup Winners' Cup team came out at the start of the game, and with a big
McLeish
banner.
got a good reception.
The
Hibs end.
No, the Hibs fans. Like Jim Leighton was first with it. Jim Leighton was booing. I was starting to get a wee clap, and then everybody's booing. I'm going, oh fuck, I've misread the room here. I was like, I always liked Jim Leighton.
Fuck you, Leighton. You made a disgrace of that house that you went to do when you were doing here.
And I never really could notice the rest of it because I was so super self-conscious about having done the wrong thing when Leighton came out.
Okay, he's a fucking Aberdeen fan.
Fuck. Anyway, what I did notice, I never got a picture of it though, is that the big massive banner that they had on the other end, it was like sort of almost went to the roof of the stand, I think. And it said, Her Oes. So it was like Her Oes, obviously, but split out. And I wasn't quick enough to get a photo because I was all for tweeting that saying, what are Oes? And why they made a flag about Her Oes? Because it was like, it's one of those ones like where Hearts had the Hiats at Hampden.
Aye.
And it's like they've got to this great lengths to make like a display, and you instantly find something fucking wrong with it. And that Her Oes.
Was it Celtic that spelt it? Celtic wrong or something?
Oh, Celtic had missed their eye, didn't they? It was Hibs, Celtic's feeder team, but Celtic. Fucking arseholes. Aye, I love things like that, and I wish I'd be quick enough to get the phone out and get a photo because I was going that would be funny, just to ridicule something that they've put a lot of time and effort, probably a fair bit of expense into it. It did look quite smart for them. But if you just went, what are Her Oes? And then you'd have all them going, it's Heroes your fan, and you go, ah. Anyway, Her Oes. I might call this episode might go out by that title as well. I'll take it that way. Take the piss at them. Right. Anyway, right. Parmerham 2 said, how is Nisbet missing sitters and penalties? Is it time to drop him? I don't know who you would drop him for. That's the problem we've got. Unless
Kukarevich is... But, he's not.
No, I know.
He's never been fit the whole time he's been here. Like, we go on about this boy as if he's the next fucking the second coming, man. He's like, if he was Scottish, he would be fucking more like fuck it. We wouldn't be wanting to renew his loan. Being injured as much as McGuinness almost.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be putting Hoppy on. I think I've not seen enough for Hoppy to suggest he should play in front of Nisbet. So, Matt said, I think LG got it spot on, just couldn't bury any of the chances. 17 shots, 2 posts and a crossbar. With an XG of 1.95, we dropped 2 points there. Definitely.
Is that what the XG was it?
Aye. And to be fair, if it had been 2-0, like Stuart said, it could have been any score, and they wouldn't really have had much of a complaint.
It's definitely got the look of a comfy 2-0 away win, though, isn't it?
Aye.
You would say.
Jay Caldwell Anderson said the keeper takes 2 steps off his line. What the fuck has Grumpy Curdy got to do to score? I think he stepped forward with 1 foot but kept 1 back. AK Rab said Nizzy throwing his arms in the air in a huff every time things didn't go his way. Stop greeting and get stuck in.
That doesn't help him.
No. Looked like he couldn't be arsed for most of it. Yuan was outstanding and unlucky not to get a couple today.
We spoke about that last year about Nisbet when he goes through one of these runs, no scoring.
Mm.
The arms do appear more prominent. Whether he's doing it when he's scoring and would ignore it, I don't know. But then the folk that didn't like him batter him for it. It gives that perception of him being a moan and kind of be arsed. And it used to happen to Ryan a wee bit as well, because Ryan used to do a lot of that, and folk would moan about it. But if he scores goals, we'll forget about it again. So that's how fickle we are.
Mm-hmm. Just on Rab's last point there, Yuan, and we probably should have spoken about Yuan. Mayer obviously signed a new deal this season or this week for the next, was it 2 or 3 years?
2026, I think.
2026, right? Good bit of business for the club. Yuan was brilliant yesterday. Like he was skinning his man for fun. He showed good strength. He was making good decisions on the ball most of the time. Unlucky not to score, like obviously cracking the post and pulling a couple of saves out the keeper. But
yeah.
I think it's one of these ones where and we'll talk about it when we talk about recruitment next. Good bit of business, it looks like, if he can keep that form up.
Aye, yeah. I mean, that's what we've been saying. Like he's promising. He's quick. He's been through spells of being excellent and spells of not being so good. His final ball, final finishing, and that once he gets more consistent at that. I mean, and I know his numbers are decent.
Yeah,
but I think I don't know what his percentages are like, but his numbers are decent. If he could up that percentage, I think we'd be looking to sell him next season.
Aye, you probably would. I mean, you consider the high praise that's been heaped on Duke at Aberdeen. Only one of those players turned up yesterday between Duke and Yuan. Duke never got anything.
What's the numbers over the season, though?
That doesn't matter, Colin. Right?
All right.
Calm down.
Well, that's what he needs to get. If he can get the numbers of the season.
I know, but don't put my gas at a peep, right? I was just praising the boy here. Let's not talk him down. Duke was in Egan Riley's pocket the whole game, and Ewan was terrorising.
Didn't he fancy it? He just got the tackle. Was it no Henderson or somebody that tackled him, and he's off? So.
He just went, not having that. I pulled the hammy, didn't he?
Was it? Right.
Right, Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. Should McCurdy take the next penalty, hopefully to get him off the mark and to try and get the fans back on side?
Imagine if he had stepped up yesterday. Fuck me. Imagine if he had missed it. He'd been still packing his bags.
Aye, that's one of those runs.
Risk reward, eh?
Aye. Nisbet will get away with missing it with a bit of stick, as we've seen here, right? And folks saying we should sell him.
I mean, aye. Imagine he's your top scorer and being consistently your top scorer, and folk are like sell him now.
Aye.
Whereas imagine if McCurdy had missed it. Fuck me, the risk reward's not enough on that one.
Aye. And it is like if he'd scored it, then great. But imagine if it's like done a boil, skied it over the bar.
Mm.
And
there'd be folk on the pitch.
Aye, there would have been. Jimmy. I think Jimmy was
the boy was booing him before he came on the pitch.
Aye, right enough. Lex Loafers had just seen the penalty on TV, and worse than I thought at the time. Considering the importance of that kick, it was a miserable effort. He should be ordered by the manager to put it in the top corner every time. This down the middle pish has cost us dearly.
Top corner every time.
Mikey said £6 for a cheeseburger. That's steep, innit? Although £6 for a Whopper in Burger King.
What's it, Easter Road? Is it not about $7.50 for a cheeseburger or something, Easter Road?
Fucking hell. I would not trust a burger at a football ground.
No.
Just all the things that I would eat, I would have a pie, no bother. A burger, no for me.
Mm-hmm.
Park Fry's image, 7 points from 12 against Aberdeen is a good return, and it is other games that are the problem. Missing Boyle for lots of reasons, but add penalties to the list. Goal-bound volley by McCurdy. Why no red card? Rockies was checked at Tynecastle.
Did Rocky get sent off?
I don't think he did, or did he?
So, no.
No.
So is that no consistency then? Is that what? So you said it should be a red card, but Rocky's got checked and didn't get sent off. So same decision.
I can't mind if Rocky did. That was just like I blotted that game for the memory already. Yeah. Lauren says, why did the pen not get retaken for Roos being off the line? Spoke about that. Was Campbell lucky to stay on the pitch? Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. I only listened to it on the radio where it was only Michael Stewart saying the yellow card was fair.
So we've been through it and been over it. It did look. So I'm getting clouded by the Kilmarnock guy getting sent off against us, where I didn't think it was a red card, but I kind of got shot down and dismissed off Hibs.net and maybe Twitter as well. I can't remember. Which made me think, well, that is it. Is that a red card? Then that's what they're saying. The rules are clear. Blah blah blah. That one was probably worse than the Kilmarnock guys one because the Aberdeen player was always there, whereas I think Chabraya in the Kilmarnock game kind of appeared and got it. But I've seen so many other ones this season in England and that as well, where it's not been a red card for high feet. That I'm not really sure that the rule is as clear as we were told. Yeah. But I did worry that when it went to VAR, it was going to be a red card.
I thought it was a red time. As soon as the tackle happened, I was like, oh, fuck it. You could be off.
Because his feet are high. You see the still, and I know still sometimes they tell you the picture, but for high feet, they're pretty. And
it was the force of the collision. So I think both players went in kind of quite quick.
Well, I wondered though. It went to VAR and then it booked him. So did VAR tell him to book him, or did because the referee ever booked it before it went to VAR? So did the referee say to VAR tell him what the decision is?
Funnily enough, the referee goes to his top pocket first, which I think he keeps the red card in the top pocket and the yellow card in his arse pocket. Right? I think that's what they do. And you see him kind of going, and then he sort of makes like a calm down motion. And moves his hand away for that, has a wee think about it, has a wee listen in the ear.
Right.
And then he doesn't go to the monitor or that, as far as I can remember. It just goes
No, he didn't.
Goes at the yellow card. It's like he assessed
it. It did say VAR check, I think, on the screen, did it not? Possible foul play. Aye.
I think they announced it as well. So maybe.
So can the VAR book something now?
No. So I think what they would say is it's no serious foul play. That's what they would say, and then the referee can go, right, well, that's fine. It's definitely a booking then.
So it's not a red card, but right, okay.
So then it's up to the ref what he does. I wouldn't have been surprised if he got sent off, given the red cards that you've seen this season. If he got sent off, I wouldn't have been surprised. I think a yellow card was probably right, and it goes back to what I was saying about the referee getting the big calls in the game correct. Yeah. I get.
It's one that we could have landed the other way though, so it's probably one that for your end of season calculator about what's right for and against, it's probably one you'd put in the 4 column.
Yeah. Aye. Although no, because it's not a wrong decision. It would be if it was a wrong. If he should have been sent off. But so I could have been as different.
We're never got to have anything in that column then, because we never think any decision that goes for us.
That's true. Callum said, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Ellie Ewan's end product is abysmal. I'll concede on my last agenda and will admit he is much better than I thought. But Jesus, the passing from those positions he runs himself into are shit. He needs coaching on how to cross a ball, in my opinion.
I'm not as harsh as that, but I know where he's going. But I'm not. I wouldn't say it's abysmal in the words he's using there. They're a bit sort of hyperbole. That's a good word to use, eh?
Yeah, it is well done.
And I don't think I was going to go hyperbolic. Is that a word?
Yeah, that is also good. Yeah.
I was going to go that, but it didn't feel right in my head before I said that. So I think it's to the extreme, but then that's what you get with opinions, eh? Like nobody ever has a grey. It's black or white.
Aye.
And I think I'm more in the grey here. That I see the good things he brings and I see the potential he's got. But yes, that's his area of development for me. But his numbers are decent.
Aye.
But they could be excellent. And it's getting it from decent to excellent, but it's no shite, which is what that comes across as. And it could just be the words he's using. So I don't disagree, but I don't fully agree. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Paul McQueenie said if we'd swapped, say, Jago and put another striker up with Nisbet, would we have won that game today? I don't think so. I think it was just one of those days where we just couldn't hit a barn door.
We've not really got another striker either, eh? So
I know.
And perhaps the performance was that good because we were set up quite well. So changing the setup might have changed the dynamics.
Aye.
You don't know. So that's what's in maybes.
Lauren said McCurdy is not a lost cause, and it's an interesting one because he's obviously got another season. Like he's due to be here as probably a main striker next season because we'll not have this bit. So you're either recruiting into that position and knocking McCurdy down the pecking order, or he goes up the pecking order. So we either sell him or he has to be a lost cause, and they put a lot of work into him through the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might want to go.
Aye, I suspect he would want to go. I don't think he'll
be happy. Comfort zone stuff, League 1, League 2 down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I'll rattle through the next few just because we're kind of over time here. Lex Loafer said, I do think we need a goal scorer in the summer, though, as Nisbet doesn't really cut the mustard, and we'll be off to some shite like Ipswich or Cardiff for the dough. A fit Miko would be great. I think we've just kind of covered that anyway. Gavin, why was Nisbet asked to take the penalty? His very poor record from the spot. I'd rather see McCurdy. McCann, NC, said, Yuan is going to be a huge sign-in, some nice touches today again. Bit more experience and hard work, and we could really have a diamond on our books. Cammy McManus said, why is Nisbet still taking the penalties? Has he ever scored one for us? He has. And then last one is for Jeff Ashton. Is it creepy, stroke sad, stroke worrying that I recognise the back of Matty Fearney's head today? Definitely 2 points dropped. Don't recall Marsha making a save. What was good is that we put 2 45-minute performances together. Fourth is still a possibility, but third is gone.
How would you know what the back of your head looks like? I'm just visualising stuff here.
So Jeff sits in the West Stand. Jeff sits right in front of me. So
so you wouldn't see the back of it.
But if we're moving out the stadium, there would be.
Okay. So it's not where I went. That's fine then.
What were you thinking? Just.
I'm not saying. On that.
Aye. Pervert. Fucking pervert. Right, no, definitely know that.
I think there's an awful lot of criticism on Nisbet there. And he missed a penalty, and we're all gutted that he missed a penalty. But, there's mentions there he never scores goals, and he doesn't score enough goals, and he always misses penalties, he's never scored a penalty, and it's like... And I know it's straight after the game, but it's all extreme reaction. It's like, he has scored goals, he's your top scorer.
Aye.
And he has scored penalties before. And he missed one, and we're all gutted about it. But there was 11 players playing yesterday, 10 outfield players playing yesterday that could have scored plus subs.
Yeah.
There's no awe in him. He did have the fucking golden opportunity, but he will get the championship for money, but it's like, was it Lex Loafer that says that one, he doesn't score goals? He's your top scorer.
I don't think that was Lex that said that he doesn't score goals.
No, apologies, Lex. I thought it was. I thought he said he'll go to some shit like Cardiff or Ipswich, that one. And I thought it was, but either way, whoever it was that said that, it's like he does score. He maybe doesn't score enough goals because he's not scored as many as Shankland. Shankland's the whole season and fucking millions of penalties. But then, if we miss penalties, it doesn't matter, eh? Like, if we come on, he scored that many goals, but he's fucking taking the chances.
Aye.
So it's disappointing, and we did blow it, but we can't just pin it on this bit because he falls down too easily and waves his arms a bit.
Right, just before we wrap up, Colin, because we need to go and record extra time, and we've overshot on this one. We're not trying to keep it under an hour if we can, because who wants to listen this long? Lewis Stevenson, another year deal. Happy with that?
Aye, good. Yeah.
It was a relief. It's funny, it's been there that long. It's quite hard to picture the team with a Lewis Stevenson in it.
Well, we'll need to get used to it, but hopefully it's in a sort of coaching, mentoring, development mentoring role for whoever your left back is, like maybe hopefully some young promising McIntyre or something that he can work with and bring him on.
And on the topic of the young team, Josh O'Connor and Aitken getting their contracts as well.
Straight to Airdrie. Aye, that's good.
I think the move to Airdrie is a good one as well. Like, I think Airdrie are a team that they're no cannon fodder in that league, but they're also not expected to win the league. So
they could be championship though, could they not? They're in the playoffs at the moment. Am I made that up?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure. Did they know Hammer Falkirk? Have I just I talk shite?
Oh, was that Airdrie that pumped them? I think you could be right actually.
And that would mean, like, obviously they'd be in a shout then. If it is them, let me double check. Aye, they beat them Falkirk 7-2 to get into the playoffs. So they'll play Hamilton now in the final over the next couple of weeks.
Aye, okay.
Over the next week. So hopefully they could be in the championship because that's a better level for judge them, I think, as well. Aye. Because both of them look promising.
Yeah, good move for them both. Right, anyway, that's us out of time. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you want to hear our assessment of recruitment, we're going to record that. Just go to our Twitter, click on the wee link and you can sign up. You can get all our content, which is Longbangers and Short Bangers, for £3 a month. Or if you only want the Longbanger stuff, you can get that for £2 a month, which will get you early access to Longbangers, no adverts, and an exclusive extra time every week. Okay, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I
drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.